The season's beginning to change. So much has been happening on the homestead. The flower bed reno is almost done. I've been preparing the garden for fall, harvesting what's left of the summer crop, and clearing out the old to make room for the new. Fall is one of my favorite times of the year, when all the leaves begin to change. I've been getting the garden ready for fall planting, starting seeds in the greenhouse, and clearing out plants that have reached the end of their cycle. The weather has been hot and dry. It's as though summer doesn't want to let go. We've been in a drought for weeks, and there's still no rain in sight. So I've been praying to the rain gods. This dry heat has made it tough to grow anything new, but I've been watering every couple of days to keep the garden alive. Some plants have reached the end of their natural cycle, such as sweet potatoes. In Eastern practices, late summer is considered to be one of the major seasons, giving us 5 seasons in total, instead of 4, like our calendars in the West. It's a time of transition as we move from one intense season to the next. And what we do during this time sets the tone for the seasons ahead, not only in the garden, but in our own health too. Late summer is the perfect time to start healing our bodies, especially our digestion. It's related to the earth element, which teaches us that true nourishment cannot exist in rigidity. Just like soil has to be loose and fertile to allow roots to grow, so too must our inner earth. And this doesn't just mean the food we eat, it means everything we take in and digest. When we cling too tightly, eat poorly, worry too much, and try to control everything, we harden the soil of our being, making it hard for anything to transform us. But when we allow space, softness, ease, and let go of things that aren't working for us anymore, we can create more harmony. The energy of summer can be intense as it builds, and I myself needed to be reminded of this. So I've had to take a step back and look at all the things I've been putting my energy into and figure out what I need to shake off, just like the trees in fall are beginning to do. And just in time for fall, my seasonal herbal tea blend is back, Chaga Chai. So that is a huge seasonal tea blend that I make that has all the wonderful warming spices we love during the fall time, during those cooler months. It's good for our bodies to have those as we transition into the colder temperatures. Obviously right now, not so much because it's been so hot here, but soon enough, guys, I mean, these temperatures are going to start dropping very soon. And so that is a good thing to have with the combination of the chaga mushroom, which is like the king of mushrooms. It is so good, so beneficial, has so many benefits, one being that of libido. And that's one of the reasons why it's even in my Beam Me Up tea. And so the Chaga Chai is fantastic. You guys have to try that one if you haven't yet. I love even brewing that and putting a little bit of coffee, which I also sell on my website, this amazing coffee that I found and discovered. Oh my gosh, it is like the best coffee I've ever had. And it's funny because my husband, when he and I first started dating, he was just drinking any kind of coffee. He was not really a big coffee connoisseur kind of guy. And I thought, oh gosh, you're drinking this coffee? Let me introduce you to some better coffee. And so I showed him some better coffee and better quality. He was like, wow, okay. I didn't think I could tell the difference because for him, he would just drink coffee no matter what it was. But now he knows and can taste the difference. And he actually even said to me recently, he said, wow, what a number you've done on me, because now it makes it hard. I cannot even drink any of the kind of coffee I was drinking before because I can taste how bad it tastes, how extra bitter, and how much destruction it does on my body, my stomach, my digestion. When I do, it just tears my stomach up. And he said, but this coffee, especially this one that I discovered more recently, it's called Coffee of the Cosmos by a family called, they go by Zen Bunny, that's the name of the company. And they get their beans from one of the few coffee growers, coffee farms in Peru, where they grow biodynamic coffee. They grow in the same principles that I do permaculture. They grow the beans according to the moon phases, the signs, like I do. Everything is grown holistically with nature in mind. And you can taste that through the coffee. I am not kidding you. You really can. And it's super, super low acid, where as I've gotten older, I can taste, like, whenever I would drink coffee, it would just tear me up. Like, it would upset my stomach. I would feel jittery. This coffee does not do that. It does not do that. And it is so clean, so good, so good. I cannot stress that enough. So anyway, when I put a little bit of that coffee in with the chai, oh my God. And I put like a little bit of, like, some nut milk in there, like, or oat milk. And I kind of blend that together. It just creates like a nice little home chai latte, pretty much. And it is so yummy, so delicious. So that is something that I love and look forward to every year come fall, rolling out my chaga chai. So it's kind of now like been a seasonal ritual for me that I enjoy. And so I hope that when you also order it, when you drink that tea, you can feel that love from me as well to you. And that it makes you feel that same way when you take a sip from that mug, because I enjoy it. I cannot wait to roll that out for you guys again. You can find the Chaga Chai tea on my website at thenakedgardener.us. The last few weeks, I have been working on a big project here, renovating the flower gardens.
Well, I know, but I can't do it.
The flowers in my garden were getting too crowded, and the previous homeowner planted some invasive plants that started to choke everything out. So I wanted to change it. It was a huge undertaking, one that I couldn't do by myself, so I asked for help. I first started to get rid of any plants that were done for the season, things that started to die off. Then I started to move plants that I wanted to keep. I purchased new plants that I wanted to add and started to plant those where I could. I even added some shade plants in front of the house. I called in a landscaper to help me clean up the invasive plants and had him create a new garden bed for me. After he was done, I was left with a clean slate and was finally able to start planting the rest of the garden. husband and I started to collect large stones so that we could replace the stone border around the main flower bed on the side of the house. We took a few trips to find the ones we needed, and some of these were very heavy. Some were even a little too heavy for us to get. Our neighbor is going to deliver even larger stones when we're ready to put the new border together. But for now, we started to remove the old border and even had to put a fence around the area to keep the chickens out. So in the front of the house, we planted a lot of the shade plants. And then our landscaper, he helped us create this new bed on the side of the house here. And so this is actually where I planted some new plants as well. I had to put this up because of the chickens. They get into everything, and also the goats. They were chewing on some of the plants too. So I put those around while they grow to keep them protected. But I also had to put up this fence. This is also to keep the chickens out because we had to remove all the stones. So that way we can actually redo our stone border. The previous border that we had, we actually had 2 layers of stones, and they just kept sinking because we were using the smaller stones. And so we removed those, and then we'll be putting down the big, larger stones this weekend. So I'm excited to see what this is going to look like next year when everything starts to grow. I planted a new Japanese maple, which is amazing in the space. I cannot wait also to see that get bigger over the years. And then I just have a lot of things like peonies, some hibiscus, and some hydrangeas, and some additional plants like fountain grass and things like that. So that way this entire space is just going to have a different feel. It's going to feel so different energetically, be cleaner, and a little more easier to maintain because the previous things I had planted in here were all a lot of wildflowers, which is fantastic. But of course, they all bloom at different times. They go through their cycles at different times. And so I had a lot of things that were constantly dying out that I had to take out of the garden. And it was just starting to look also very messy. We had a lot of those invasive plants that were beginning to choke out a lot of the other plants in the garden. And so that was becoming very problematic. And so we really needed to do something about this space. It was starting to just become an eyesore for me. So I'm glad that I decided to do this year. It has been a big undertaking. So we had to ask people for help. My husband has been helping me do this. The landscaper was a huge help. My nephew has been out here as well, helping on occasion. And then, of course, the neighbor coming out to do the last bit, which is the stone border. So once that is done, this entire space will be complete and I can move on. We also decided to put a border around the other garden beds, the new one the landscaper created for us, and the one in front of our house. But instead of stone, we decided to use a corten steel border that had already gone through the weathering process to have that patina look that I love. Because it has been so hot and dry, the soil was very hard to get through, but with much determination, we got it done. I'm glad that we decided to move forward with this because it looks so much better and it keeps everything tidier. It keeps a lot of the compost in the beds as opposed to the chickens scratching it and moving it out. So it's keeping it more contained. Everything looks cleaner and it looks really good. So I'm excited about that as well. And once these hostas and these other shade plants start to grow and fill in the space, it's going to look even better. There's something magical about making big changes. When you think about something so much and can see it in your mind, what it looks like and feels like, and then you start working toward it, it's as though the universe opens up and meets you there to create things beyond what you ever thought would be possible. The same goes for the kind of world we want to live in, one that's not full of hate, division, or cruelty, but instead, one that's full of love, compassion, and togetherness. It seems as though we've come to another crossroads where we have to decide which kind of reality we want to be part of. And I'm choosing the latter. So every day I try to be mindful of the way I treat other people and the way I treat myself. It's the small steps that we have to take day by day to eventually be the change we want to see in this big, beautiful world.